everyone, and welcome to another episode of Relationship Flow Sip and Chat. You are riding with your crew tonight. You have Daryl and Doc, and we have Miss Ruth with us again. Yes, thank you so much for being here.
You're welcome.
Everyone loves your energy. They love what you're bringing to the show.
Well,
So
thank
we
you.
really appreciate you being here with us.
Thank you. I'm honored to be invited and to be back. Thank you.
All right, Daryl, how was your week?
It was cool. It's cool. Cool week. Nice, decent weather. Everything's going in the right direction.
Hmm. Okay. And you, Neil, how was your week?
Good week. The kind of usual. The usual. We did have Drake's birthday. I had mentioned that before. What else? We had Valentine's Day. Which
Yeah.
we look for any excuse to love up and hang out and all of that jazz. And the dress
Yes.
for a change. So nice.
Okay.
How about you?
That's good. Yeah, my week was okay. A little bit busy. Had some stuff to do, um, but it was okay.
Good.
Nothing out of the well. I was gonna say nothing out of the ordinary happened, but something did out of the ordinary happened today. I was in the nail
What?
salon, and a young lady came into the salon and said that there was a man outside with a gun.
Oh,
All right, I know, right?
huh.
And so the nail salon people put the thingy down, the gate down,
Hey.
I guess to protect the customers in the store. But the thing that struck me was that the girl didn't call the police. Nobody called the police. And I was like, all right, if I call the police, what am I going to say? That somebody said that somebody's outside
Mhm,
walking
mhm.
around with a gun. And they said, well, if they ask me like for a description or anything like that, I'm like, I have nothing. I have nothing to tell them. So I was like, dang, in that situation, should I have called the police myself? Or, just
Oh,
kind
that's
of
tough.
go with
Tough.
everybody else. Everybody else, and they're like, hey, no big deal.
But like you
Tough.
Like,
said, you wouldn't have had anything to present to them. So
mhm, yeah,
Well, it kind of shows the lack of trust for the boys in blue.
yes,
well, that's
You,
yes.
true.
you're inviting another gun to something that you
Mm.
know. When you go to your car, you might get hemmed up.
True.
The person with the gun been gone. They gonna grab you.
Like, yeah, we heard somebody was out here with a gun. Is it
Somebody
you?
got to go with us. Somebody got to go.
You are so right, Daryl, though, because you have to be careful about those situations. So
Right.
Mhm. It made me wonder, like, are we that desensitized?
we are.
Again, is it desensitized or is it kind of also just like I said, the lack of trust?
I think it's
Mm,
both. I think
yeah,
it's
Lack of trust. You bring this gun to this fight, and then what?
hmm
Like I
hmm
said, you could possibly be putting yourself in danger.
hmm hmm
But there was a
That gun.
time where we would have thought that calling, calling the police in is a way to protect ourselves.
As you said, there was a time.
When was that?
You weren't born yet, Daryl.
Well,
Right.
and who
Okay,
and
say,
who
I
thought
remember those days.
what group of people thought the police were there to protect them?
You weren't born yet.
Yeah, might not be the right color for that train of thought.
And Doc and I were quite young, but we do
Yeah.
vaguely remember that.
Yes.
Y'all thought you
Yeah.
remembered that from the TV shows. It wasn't a time we wasn't getting ground and pound for no reason.
But we didn't know about it. Let's say that.
Right, exactly. We might have thought
We didn't know
not,
about
but
it, right?
it's not a time in history that you can't see us getting ground and pounded.
You're
And if you
so
listen to any music, any time reflects that the ground and pound was happening.
you're so
Mm.
sadly right. So sadly right. Because
Hey,
Hey,
Facebook
y'all.
user. Hey. Let us know where you are, who you are, what you sipping on. Hey, by the way, Daryl, what are you sipping on?
I have some decaf coffee.
Coffee this time of night?
It can't. It's
It's still decaf.
you
Still
said
coffee.
decaf, so
it's decaf for one.
Still though.
yeah, we are doing a little more of those lattes and coffees lately. You okay?
Well, when it's cold. I like something warm sometimes. So usually it's hot chocolate, but I can control the sugar in coffee. So I go with a little decaf coffee for a nice little treat.
Okay. I'm just having boring old lemon water.
Don't judge me.
I gotta get some more people on this show that
they can sip, right?
Right, gotta have some real sips.
Again, we had went away from the sipping.
Yeah,
that's what happened. We had went away from the sipping. Now we're back to sipping.
Hey Kim, good to hear from you. College weekend with her oldest child. Okay,
Nice. Okay.
That's exciting.
It is exciting.
Yes. It's always exciting when they're getting ready to go away.
Yes. And stay away for a while.
You haven't experienced that yet, Daryl.
Not yet.
I haven't. I don't want to. I'm not there yet.
He doesn't want to think
I don't want him to go away.
No,
I'm
he
not
doesn't.
there yet.
It is a sad, happy day, I'll say.
It is a sad, happy day. I remember. I
do
thought
too.
I'd be okay, and I wasn't okay. It took me
I
a while
wasn't
to
either.
get okay. Yeah. It took me a while to get okay.
That was a long drive away. I was in tears. I remember it well.
Yeah.
And then the first parent visiting day, when you come back on campus with them, my poor child looked like a truck had run him over. I said, "You need to come home with me, baby. You just need to come home." It was a rough few months.
Man, I remember calling. And I remember threatening Erica because she don't call. If she doesn't call me back in a reasonable amount of time or text me back, I've texted her, "I'm on my way if you don't call me back."
Yes, I remember.
I'm on the way.
I am on the way. Yes,
that was a time.
Say something.
That was a transitional time.
Yes. And when it was a long time before, if I hadn't spoken to her, I don't want to text. I need to hear your voice.
Exactly.
I don't know who texted me.
Exactly. I remember.
What did you do, Winnie? What did you do for your 2-year-old birthday? Tell me fast.
That's right. That's right. I need to make sure it's you.
That's right. Because they were on their own for me for the first time. And I felt like, wow, are you ready for this? Am I ready for this?
That's the better question.
Yeah. Oh my.
Just wait, Daryl. Just wait.
You just wait, Daryl. We'll be here for you, Daryl. We'll say that.
Yes.
We'll be here.
I'm gonna need it. I'm
You
gonna
are.
need it.
We'll try to stop you from racing up there wherever there is.
I get choked up every time she goes to school.
Oh, you're in trouble. You're in trouble.
I can't imagine her going in. Well, I already told her. I said, whenever she's ready to go to college, I'm ready too. So I'm ready.
All right, Beverly Goldberg.
Yeah, I'll be ready to go back. I'll be ready to go back.
I believe he would. I believe he would sign in as a, student.
Hey, listen, it's always another degree I can get. It's okay. There's something else out there I can get.
I'm not mad at you. That's a really different transition.
It is. Yeah. It really is.
Why we don't have to? We make it as easy as possible. Just transition with them. Make it as easy as possible.
Didn't we talk about fostering power and independence in your children? Did we talk about that?
Yeah, we're gonna learn independence together.
We'll do that in their late 20s.
I mean, why wait for the 20s? We can keep going. We just learn independence together.
Kind of defeats the purpose there, Daryl. But
right, yes,
we have to.
All right, guys. Yep. Tonight we are talking about how do you know when someone is right for you, or how do you know when they're not right for you? Right.
For all you people who spent that love day buying cars and stuff for people who don't like you, just for you.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You bought flowers and all you got was a thank you back. She wasn't into you.
That's a good point, Daryl. Because sometimes
very good point.
People be pursuing people that have no interest in them.
Have no interest. No interest.
Haven't shown it.
Second year that you got her something, she didn't get you anything. Hey, bro, time. The gig is up. Time to move on.
I remember those single days Valentine's Day, I get gifts from 3-4 people.
Oh,
I only be seeing one of them.
Right.
Oh, I was never that popular.
I didn't expect it. If she says, "Oh, I didn't even expect to get from you,"
Yeah.
she ain't for you. But she wasn't. She's not for you, boy.
Yeah. I was never that popular. What?
Take your gift back. Well, it's tough when you get married in third grade. It is tough to be popular. So
That kind of changed things, right? That kind of changed things.
It was a little.
yeah, that kind of people know you're taking. They're not gonna really. It's harder for them to give you things. So
Yeah, but I at least wanted to see what that was like, though. Doc picking from 5 different gifts. Okay.
Right.
Never got to do that.
That's a lot of pressure. 5 different gifts. 5 different gifts is a pressure. That's got to be pressure, Doc, because you got to now. How do you respond to that? Like, ooh, because you say the wrong thing, you can alert the person that you want them. You know what I mean?
Thank you.
Yeah.
How nice of you! Wow.
Right. See,
Wow.
I want to teach you guys responses to something like that. You'd be like, "Oh, this is so nice. My boyfriend gave me the same one, but a little bigger." You give subtle hints that you're off the market.
Yeah.
Ooh, I got one of these last year. Thank you. Thank you for this.
I never knew what that was like. I took my one little gift. Oh, it's so sweet. Thank you, sweetie.
There you go.
But it is funny though. Hey, I always tried to be gracious and not to the people,
That's the least you could do, Doc.
Yes. I would never be like mean or
Fellas, pay
say
attention.
anything disrespectful.
Listen, fellas, you listening? Just because they're nice to you, don't mean they want you. They can take your gifts and not want you. Thank you. Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
See, but that's one of the things that we're going to talk about tonight, because when you're incompatible, a lot of times you don't understand each other, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you're not getting the hints from somebody that you're pursuing, it's not likely that you guys are going to be a good couple anyway.
Well,
good point.
When you're not an option, not an option is not good. I don't know. I ain't never seen not an option work. I'm just saying. From my anecdotal life, I ain't never seen not an option work. Like you are not an option, and it ever worked. It hasn't.
Yeah, I would think that wouldn't work either.
Yeah, nah, it hasn't worked.
You at least have to be an option.
Only way it would work if you hit the lottery, then you may become an option.
Wow. That's a little.
I've seen things that happen, where the person kind of squeezes their way in because they're there. They're there.
So, but that means I think you were always an option, right? I think because they allowed you to stay around. If you're really not an option, I don't think people are going to allow you to be around.
I don't know. I think sometimes you think a person is not an option. You might, in your head, you're saying they're not an option, but they start doing things, saying the right things, being around all the time, kind of bullying their way into being an option.
Babe, do me a favor.
That's when those things happen when you say, "Oh, that just happened. It was never meant for us to be together."
See, so I kind of agree. Cause I remember I did have an experience where, no. This person wasn't that they weren't an option. I just never looked at them like an option. But then when we end up, so that's a little different. I don't think they were totally off. So I can't see me being with someone that's pleasantly plump. We'll just say it nicely, right?
Okay. All right.
I don't care what you do. You're not bullying your way in, okay? How nice you are.
What if she lost weight and then presented herself to you at a later date? She went to she watched all your training videos and worked out and lost weight.
Cool. As long as that skin healed up right, then we might.
Carol.
As long as that skin tightened up. If that skin didn't tighten up, then we got a whole another problem. And that's a negative again. So hey, are we gonna be honest here or not? We're here to be honest.
We are.
We're gonna be honest.
Brutally.
I'm just saying we got preferences. We have preferences. So I'm not in.
But you want to say you've never taken down, and these are yours. Taken down.
No.
Someone who you might have looked at originally said, "I'm not really attracted to them."
Oh, that's different. That's just fact. Okay, right. That's all. Wait, those are two different. Those are very separate entities, right? Taking somebody down maybe because they're there outside of looking at them as an option or something. That's totally different. It's last call. We at the club. You here? I'm here. Hey, you might get it. That's totally different. That's just. She hit the lottery that night because she was there. That's different than she. But again, she's still not an option. She was just a obstacle for the night. Because you jump up and down on like a trampoline.
That is wow.
Ladies, are you hearing this? You see in the club. Do not be the last one there.
No.
And or the most available. Maybe you were just the opportunity that presented itself for the night. Women, some of you are just opportunities. Don't act like it's more than that. And that's why you get hurt, because you think it's more than the opportunity. Wow. It wasn't a match. It was a match for the night.
Oh my. I need to eat my cheese on that one.
Like women don't know this. Stop it. If you don't know, that's why you guys get caught all the time.
These are the times when people are trying to squeeze their way in. They may not see them. You might say they're not an option, but they're going to be like, hey, well, I like him. I'm going to let him take me down because that raises my I don't even know what you call it. That raises
it doesn't raise anything. No. Because I think, again, that's just an act that we're doing, right? That's an act that has no meaning to it. It's not a feeling of I want you, I don't want you involved in. It's like I'm going to get this crack from you. I'm going to release this dopamine and keep it moving. Or I might call you again when I want to release that dopamine again. You might be, one of my stops on the way home that night. Wow. You know what I mean? So, but it's not, that has nothing to do with that doesn't mean you're a match or not a match. You're just not even an option. You're just a obstacle for me to jump up and down on like a trampoline for a little bit.
Wow, Daryl.
Yeah, something else is in that mug, Doc.
Right?
Something else is in that mug.
Come on. Why are we acting like we don't know this is the truth? Why do we know how many times your girl, I can't believe he didn't call me back? You can believe it. You knew what it was. It wasn't going to be, you made a whole thing in your head. It wasn't even that. You knew what it was.
Oh, Lord. So you knew you weren't an option. Are you saying that people know when they're not an option?
Listen, I mean, people are delusional. If I'm coming over at 1:00, at 10:00, we ain't never been nowhere outside of your house.
Well, that's different. Mm-hmm.
You're wait a minute, what's different? No different.
I'm saying
you down at the club.
Is different about knowing. You're right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I mean, you can be delusional about it, right? It's no different than a guy where the girl's always letting you take her to lunch, and you ask her to go to dinner.
He was going to bring that up. I knew
you asked her to go to dinner. She's like, I don't go out at night. Listen, you got at a certain point, you have to realize what you're entertaining. You know what I mean? And if it's very one-sided, if you're not getting any of your needs met, like, you're not going out, you're not meeting friends, you're not, the only place you go to are really dark, dim lit places in about 3 hours away from your house, then you should know you're not an option. You're an obstacle.
Oh, boy.
Jump up and down on like a trampoline.
Oh, boy.
Now, what about these people that are in relationships and trying to decide or if they're compatible or not, or they think they're compatible, but there's signs that it's not going so well.
So I think that this is one thing I see too, where people think they're supposed to be in a relationship. So where the guy will let me wife you up and not even did the work yet, So I don't know exactly if you're checking off the boxes because we're having fun. Maybe it's that honeymoon phase, we're having fun and things of that nature where everything is good, but we haven't really checked off any of the boxes yet. Because in the beginning it's cool, but again, we fall in love with that honeymoon phase.
Yeah.
And then I think what happens is when you kind of starts wearing off and you start seeing like, I don't really like this person, or we're not doing anything I like to do, or whatever the case may be. We don't have the same interest really. Once in the beginning it's fun because everything we do is new to us.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But now when it's kind of like we're settling in, I like to, I don't know, go throw rocks at houses. You don't like to do that, and I really like to do that. Then it's like, well, you don't like to do what I do. So then I think people will start seeing, well, maybe we're not as compatible as we thought we were. Most people are compatible in that honeymoon stage in the beginning. Most people are cool in that stage. Most people can have fun with someone. Having fun with no, we'll say, responsibilities is easy, right? It's easy. But when you start talking about, things that are important, like kids or how we're going to raise kids or where we want to live or jobs or even our expectation or role expectations can be very different. So somebody could be great, but then when I say, I want you to stay at home and you don't need shoes anymore after this honeymoon phase, that might not be good for everybody.
Well, that's true, because a lot of people go with it, they don't think about the similarities. They go with the whole idea that opposites attract, which, like Daryl said, is fun in the beginning, but what happens when the novelty wears off?
That's true.
Right.
And it depends how opposite. I mean, I agree with some of the opposite attracts business, but it depends. Are we opposite on the big lifetime things? Yeah. Or are we
I was going to say, I don't think it's opposite. I think that we have our own experiences that may be different.
Okay.
That sometimes may make things, I didn't know that. I learned your way of cooking, right? So I'm not necessarily opposite. I learned you make something that I wasn't used to make. Oh, that's dope. Okay, now I learn it. So it might not be totally, I don't think it's opposites. I think that we bring our different experiences sometimes, and those will be, I think they're good.
That's another way to look at it.
And you can learn something from someone, right? So I don't think opposites attract. I think people with their own identity sometimes what you really like. Because we're different. We're different a little bit, so you do things a little differently, and that's cool because now I get to do it a different way. Because we're opposite. I don't know. People say opposites attract, but I don't know if that really makes sense. Because if I want to go, if I want to go left, you want to go right, that we can't attract because where we're going different. That means somebody's going to have to acquiesce to the other person, right? Someone's going to have to jump on the other person's program, which means you lose yourself, which is a problem. And that's another thing you don't know. Know that someone's not for you if you are losing yourself in that relationship. If the person is constantly pulling you in a direction they're going, but not going in your direction. So you become them. You become what they want you to be, and you lose yourself. Losing yourself is a big problem in relationships, and so many people do it.
Yep.
Yep. It's very true.
And I have a question. Do you think, and most of the time, usually from what this anecdotally, I see that women do that. Is that something that's kind of taught? Yeah, where the women start to lose themselves in what the man is doing, and to start doing things for him.
I think it is. I think it's taught sometimes, and I think that it's taught in the way that it's explained that, excuse me, that's how you get the man. I think that's how it's taught. Like you become interested in what he's interested in.
That's
true. Things that he likes to do. That's how you get him, hook him. I think it's taught in that way.
Okay.
Or in the way that women are sometimes looked at as, being the people that I guess acquiesce to most things. We're more, well, I don't know if we're more, but sometimes considered more nurturing, more in tune with those needs, whatever, however you want to look at it. But I think it's looked at as the woman's role to do that. Like Doc is saying, you're expected to do it.
Right. And it's very interesting. I know for me personally, I like someone to come with some different things because I want to enjoy some new things that I can enjoy with you as well. I definitely want you to be engaged in things I do, but I want to do things outside of me. Like I don't want to keep doing all my things.
Right.
I want to be able to, you go skating. This is kind of fun. Like that helps out things too. So it's not just one-sided all the time.
Yes.
and you don't grow resentment because you're like,
I agree.
going through your thing again,
Mhm.
going through your thing again. That could be a real problem.
I think that whole idea of when you become a partner in a relationship, that two become one. I think people get that kind of mixed up to mean that you and your partner meld together. When that's not what that means.
Mm-hmm.
It means that you and your partner are looking into the same direction, you're sharing the same goals. It doesn't mean that you become your partner and they become you.
True.
It means that you still have your things, that they still have their things, and then you have your things together.
The 1/3, I call it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
1/3 me, you, and then our together thing. Yeah. Or things.
Mm-hmm.
But people do get lost in that. They get lost in that, and they get lost in it really quick, trying to please that other person. And then all that resentment you're dealing with causes other problems in a relationship.
Of course. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it can even lead to a breakdown in your communication because you don't want to say, I don't want to go skating anymore. Or, you don't want to tell your partner you don't like their cooking. You don't like the Sunday breakfast.
Right.
And you start keeping things to yourself that you think are going to cause conflict.
Right.
Or if you do start sharing, then maybe that person is feeling like, oh, what's happening with you? You're changing. You used to like it. It used to be okay. Why don't you like it anymore? Well, I never really liked it. I just never told you.
Right.
I just, I've grown and being able to communicate better and telling you in a nice way, that's not for me. These are hard conversations. These are the hard ones.
So, it's funny, and they shouldn't be, because we talk about it all the time. These are those ground level conversations that need to be had in the beginning before there's feelings involved. Or when something shows up, you have to be like, hey, look, I'm not really into that, as much. At least let the person know, because if you don't, I feel like you're saying it's okay. Every time you let someone do something and you don't say anything in the against it, you really are saying it's okay. Because I'm like, well, they didn't say anything. I agree. So that becomes the issue. And then, like you said, down the road, when you change it, it's harder to accept for both people. I'm like, now you acting new. But really, you're not acting new, but you are acting new, but you're not acting new. Yeah, and then now I gotta go to the side joint house because you acting funny.
All right, side joint in at 8:28 tonight, guys.
No, 30 minutes tonight. You're doing better.
Yeah. And I think it's okay, to try things in the beginning, especially things you haven't done. So if you're like, all right, I'll try it, but I think it's important that you say whether or not it's something that you want to continue.
Right. Your assessment should be true. Like, it's cool, but I really don't want to, I'm not going to do it all the time. Or it's not like, you kind of let them know how you feel, and hopefully they'll respect your feelings and kind of, now tailor it to where if you do go, hey, thank you, thank you for going. If you don't go, that's okay too, because I know it's not really your thing.
But oftentimes, Daryl, not to cut you off, it goes a little longer because, like Doc is saying, people are sort of trying to hook you. They're trying to hook you, so they're not going to say the total truth oftentimes about a lot.
Let's talk about that, Ruth. Let's talk about that.
Yes.
If you're lying to try to hook somebody,
not lying. No, Daryl. Not lying, but you're not revealing all. Let's say that.
So that's called a lie. Omissions of facts. Okay, Ruth. Omissions of facts is what? A lie. Okay.
I'm just trying to help you understand.
You know what?
We don't need the sound effects. We don't need that. But just go with what Doc is saying. If I'm trying to hook you, Daryl, and get you, in this relationship or whatever, I'm only going to say I don't like that so many times to you.
Right. So you're telling me you're not being your authentic self to get me. So when you become your authentic self, it's going to be a problem. Because now you became your authentic self, and I don't like you anymore, and it's.
I like that.
Okay, we're done here at that point, because again, you need to be able to say it in the beginning.
But you don't have to be done. You can grow and have hard conversations somewhere in there.
Well, I have a problem with you lying to me.
It's not a lie, Daryl.
I mean, we can beg to differ, but not telling the truth is what I'll wait.
It's not revealing all. That's different.
Okay, so if I don't reveal, I got a side joint. Is that okay?
Oh,
Well,
my
we all know
goodness.
because you've done it publicly. So
Right. That's to be expected.
So I'm just saying, if someone doesn't reveal something, so now we're picking and choosing what we can reveal.
Yeah.
Because if I say at the beginning, you need to be, or even all throughout the relationship, if you tell the truth about how you feel.
Yeah,
let me pose something to you because we all agree on that.
Yeah.
Let me pose something to you. If you go skating the first time and it's not really your thing, and you're like, all right, I'll do it again, and I'll do it again, and as every time you hate it more and more and more, but you're still willing to do it because the person likes to do it.
Okay.
But you hate it every single time.
Well, listen, you can't complain about it if you're doing it. So let's not complain.
See,
once something becomes a problem, you need to be able. This helps the relationship. Hey, listen, I went the last 5 times. I don't really like going all the time because I don't really like it. It hurts my back, my feet, whatever the case may be. And then your partner says, "Oh, cool, thank you." They should be like, "All right, thank you for going all those times. It's okay if you don't go. We don't go now. Let's try something different because you tried for me 5 times." Right. So at least I'm being open and honest with you and saying this wasn't really. And now you're learning if something is not really right. If I speak up for it, it's okay because we're in a healthy relationship. We're not hiding things to get you.
That was just an example. Okay.
Yeah, it was a terrible example, Ruth. Women, just what women do. They lie to get us, y'all. See that, men? And they think it's okay. They put the front on to get us.
I did not.
You know what else I've seen happen in those situations too? Is you say, all right, I'm not going anymore. And your partner's like, yeah, okay, you don't have to go. But I'm going to go with so-and-so and so-and-so.
That's very
and
true.
You're like, no, I can't go. So I don't want you to go either.
So again, see, this is
be a problem.
You're right. So this is all great. These are all great problems to have. You know why? Because I know that your conflict resolution is terrible and that we may not work out together because I should be able to say, if you don't go, I'm going to go with my friends because I like going. I like doing it.
No,
I'm not going to stop doing it because of you. But what I'm saying, I just ask whoever else to go out and go with me. You should be okay with that, right? Because we do need to have our separate lives as well as our life together. But if you cannot understand the communication and you become petty about it, then again, now it's for me to say, this may not be for me.
I agree with that.
I agree.
Because they don't have to like it, but they should not make you feel bad about it or try to stop it. I agree.
That's right. And I've seen that often. Well, I've heard these stories often, especially at couples therapy, where someone gives up something that they love.
See, no, that's not fair.
Their partner has banned it from their lives.
That's not fair. That's not right. Hi, cutie. Hi. She's adorable.
Yes. But yeah, I've seen it so many times.
It happens time and time again. Yeah.
So, it is not okay.
No. For instance, Big Roger's never been into dancing as much as I am. So there are those times where he'll do it to indulge me, but I know it's something he doesn't take an interest in. So I don't really push him on it. But yet if we go to something that has dancing, he is so okay with sitting there talking to somebody and I'm all over the floor with everybody whoever's feet are moving. And he's okay with that because that's how we understand we're still separate people that like different things. So that's been something that one of the main things we've noticed about not liking the same thing. It's okay.
It is. It's okay. It's okay. Even in my own life, I've come across a situation or two with someone who wouldn't want me to dance with someone else while I'm out.
Yeah.
But they don't want to dance.
That's a problem for me.
Yes, that's a problem.
That's a problem. Because I'm electric sliding as soon as that music comes on all around you, and that matters to me and a mate that you can enjoy watching me enjoy something too.
Yes.
That matters a lot.
Yes.
You missed that whole thing down.
I didn't. No, I agree. I like when people come out and again, it's support.
Yep.
I like support, right? If I'm doing something, even if you're sitting in the crowd or whatever case may be, the support. And then I also that's why I say I like the person to have something because I want to support what they're doing as well. I want to be their biggest cheerleader. I want them to be my biggest cheerleader. So I'm
agree.
Definitely there with that. Like anything I'm doing, I'm like, you could do. or at least cheer me on. Anything you do, if you want me there, I'll be there, or cheering you on.
But as I said, I know of people who it becomes an argument if it's a difference in that way.
No, but that's when so it becomes an argument.
Yes.
Well, I guess
about like for somebody dancing and left you sitting or whatever, it can become an argument.
Right.
And it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be.
I mean, and that's any activity. If you don't like the bowl, but you don't want your partner to go bowling with their friends, or if you don't like to travel, you don't want them to travel without you, but you don't want to go. Like,
and the thing with that is, like, again, to me, that means I feel it's like maybe a trust issue or something else. It's not the activity.
No,
it's you going without them. But why is me going without you a problem?
Yes.
So you don't get mad when I go to work without you. Right? I go to work without you. So if you ain't mad, I'm going to work without you, then I'm going on a trip without you. Like I would want to know where that comes from.
Right.
And if there's really trust issues, listen, trust issues to me is a sign of you're not compatible, right? You're really not. And so many people are in relationships that they're really not. They shouldn't be in, but they're in them.
Yeah.
And then they're wondering why they have all these issues because you shouldn't be together. If you don't trust you, if I'm looking through your phone, or like I said, if I'm worried about you going bowling, you going bowling, who gonna be there?
That's too much. That's too much.
That's way
too much.
Too much.
But a lot of times,
too much energy, too much time.
Yes. Too much explanation. All of the above.
Yeah.
No.
Right.
Not doing it.
And I think the real problem is that unhealthy is what people assume a relationship is. A lot of these unhealthy traits are what people think. They think it's okay to, be, well, I like my man. He care where I'm going. No, that's crazy. You ain't got to tell him every move.
Your man is insecure, girl.
Thank you.
You understand me?
Thank you.
Insecurity is secure in relationships.
Yes. Yes.
It is. For me, like, I'm just really laid back. I be chilling. I'm not going to text you all day. I'm not going to ask you where you at. I'm not doing none of that.
We know that's because the side you're on.
I'm not asking her where she at either. I don't ask her where she at either. Okay? I don't ask where she at either. You know what I mean? I don't ask any of them. You know what I mean?
Any of them.
Yeah, and none of them. They do what they do. We see each other. But I'm saying, like, some people really want that type of pressure.
Yeah.
And they think that type of pressure is he cares. He loves me because he's doing this.
Yeah.
He's parked outside of my job to see who I'm with. Girl, he loved me. He drove all the way over here. No, he's crazy.
No, girl.
And you're crazy too for being in that relationship. Both of y'all crazy. Okay.
He's a stalker, girl.
Yeah. And you're allowing it.
Yes.
You make it even more, because when you don't tell him to go away, again, you said it's okay. It's okay to stalk me. It's okay to pop up the club because I'm going out with the girls and all of a sudden you're there, or vice versa. You go out with the boys and she pop up. Oh, you're here. No, that's craziness.
Yes, I agree.
But sometimes we feel like that's okay. That's love. Girl, he drove all the way over here and put gas in the car and came here to see. He loved you, huh? Okay. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna go home. This is gonna go left.
Real quick.
Yeah, you should be able to. Again, if you can't live without your partner, there's a problem.
That's a good way to put it.
There's a problem,
yep.
Right? And I don't think, and I think some people like the attention, but they don't understand that's unhealthy.
Yes, yes,
it's unhealthy.
Yep.
Right? It's unhealthy. I don't want nobody who can't live without me.
And again, Daryl, that stuff can evolve through, long-term relationships again,
absolutely.
You have to really analyze it and say, wait, this is starting to look and feel a little bit like codependency. Let's back this up a little bit.
Right.
The trust has been established. So we need to talk about the 1/3 part. Yeah. Yeah.
For sure. Yes. So we're talking about, you want them to change for you?
Now, I guess that, the core person should be the same, right? Because you should like me for kind of who I am. I can't change my core person. I can't. That's just who I am. So if you can't really like me if you want me to change the core of who I am. Right? You can't like me if you want me to be different.
Okay.
And we also have to recognize too that sometimes we kind of said during a relationship, one person may grow. I was watching the movie the other day where the one person grew and the other person really didn't. They still saw them as the person they met. And they were still kind of wanting that person to revert back to the person they were when they met. And the person was like, you don't really like me. You like who I used to be. Right? And I'm sorry, I've grown. I'm not that person, nor will I ever be that person again.
Okay.
Right? So they were able to have the conversation at the altar. I think it was like, we ain't gonna do that.
At the altar.
Yeah, because like you don't really like
better
who I
late
am
than never.
Right. Yes.
Right.
But
And he admitted, he was like, listen, I liked who you were, and I wanted that person to come back, because he always would say things like, yo, you used to, you don't know more, but they were just so into the relationship, trying to make it work, and they kept moving forward.
Wow.
In a relationship that wasn't really supposed to move forward. But luckily they were able to, and they weren't upset about it. He was like, you're right, I don't really like the person you are now. I like who you used to be.
Interesting.
But I mean, you have to be able to assess that as well.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. And talk about it and see if there's any way to salvage it.
Absolutely. See if there's a resolution or not. But it's better to talk about it than to keep trying to, in your head, thinking somebody's going to change, thinking they're going to change, thinking they're going to change, and getting upset that they're not. You know, when you got up before, you used to make breakfast. Why ain't making breakfast no more? That's over.
I was trying to get you, as Doc said.
I don't really make breakfast.
But no,
or maybe your schedule changed, which doesn't allow you to make breakfast anymore.
Or maybe I'm
right, but you don't really recognize the point that her schedule changed. You just want her to do what she used to do.
Right.
And it's not. I'm not. That's not me anymore. Right, due to the change in circumstances. And if you can't accept that, again, like I said, try to find something, a middle ground, or, can you deal with it? Is it something that's become a non-negotiable for you, right? And that's why we got to be honest with ourselves, right? We got to be honest with ourselves to say, can we really do this? Can I really not allow will you not doing this bother me to the point where I still can be okay, or will I not be okay? So you don't want that to turn into arguments about other things.
And you got to look at the reasons. You got to examine your reasoning. If you're saying, I'm just going to stick in there so that I could get married, then,
Right.
Yeah. What after that?
What happens after that? What the barometer that you're using is not a good one.
No.
If you're going to stay in it just because you feel like you need to get married because you're the last friend that's not married, your parents bothering you, that kind of stuff. Some of those things force people to stay in these situations and let them move forward, even though they know that this is not what they want, or that they are not compatible with the person.
And it's so interesting because I know even a lot of people, the goal, and most of the time is, again, anecdotally, it's just me from my experience, women, their goal is to be married. The goal is
many
to be
women,
married,
yes, many women.
Right? It's not to, it's to be married, and everything else will fill it in once we're married.
Yep.
And like you said, and they will sit through whatever to get to that marriage.
Yes.
And then I think the marriage is maybe not what they want, or it turns out to be, like you said, now what? We're married, now what? And they won a championship at marriage, and now it's like, what do we do now?
Right.
They're even lost. They're lost in marriage because well, I got this thing that I thought was going to be something, and not realizing there's some work you got to do to even after the marriage. Like, so that's very interesting too. I hear that a lot. When I want to be married. I want to be married.
I agree. That is the ultimate goal for many. I think many women.
I'm sure your side Joy says that a lot, Daryl.
No, I train them well to let them know this is not happening. Actually, it's not even much talking if I'm only seeing you at like 1:15.
Don't bring it up.
Pull up. Come in, do whatever, and then I'm gone. So, real quick. If you're having any of these conversations with your side joints, you're messing up. Okay, side joints should be having. They should have no expectations.
They shouldn't expect to get married, Daryl. They shouldn't want to get married.
No, they should, but not to you. Okay.
He said they should have no expectations.
None. No.
But a lot of folks do.
Expect to see me always after the sun come down and really late.
and along those lines, what really kills me sometimes is not just the focus of I want to get married, but the wedding is like the big hurrah, not what are we going to do with this life?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
After that.
Mm-hmm.
Right. How do you go into debt at a wedding? Before you even start your wedding, it's like going to college. You into debt, and what are you getting out of it? A cake.
Mm-hmm.
Or you're divorcing before you're even done paying.
Yes.
Right.
I actually have a friend who second time around, I'm like, what are we doing?
Right. Right.
So you really cannot feel that force piece. You got to watch the force piece.
Right.
And I think a lot of times that's what happens in these relationships where people have been together for a long time or living together for a long time, get married, and then it ends in 6 months. Because you just stayed there for the marriage. Because you didn't want to feel like you wasted your time.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
You didn't have a plan the day after that wedding. Not a plan.
Absolutely. And I think that's really big. I tell you, what is your plan?
I
hear what you're saying, but let's not be so general about it. Be more specific.
Yes.
All right. You want to be married. Well, tell me why you want to be married.
Right.
Right. And what's that look like to you? What do you expect from me? Well, this is what I expect from you. People need to start getting those things out early. And not that these things can't change, right? Your expectations or these things, but at least talking about it may help you think about things in a realistic life situation.
Way.
Realistic, right?
That's right.
It's like, wow, wait a minute, I didn't think about that. I never thought about what marriage looked like. I just wanted to get married. I never thought what it would take to be in a marriage, or even I didn't ask you really what you expected of me in the marriage. You just wanted to be married. So now you're getting married without expectations, and it's like you're dooming yourself to fail because you didn't do the work in the beginning.
So
that's right.
Well, what is it going to look like, 10, 15 years down the line? When we both changed in so many ways.
Well, again, they don't know what it's going to look like. They don't know what it's going to look like a year after the marriage because you don't think that way.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? You're just getting married. You can't think about 10, 15 years. You don't know what it's going to look like. Well, in 6 months, what is it going to look like?
We're going to get a divorce.
Right.
That's what it looks like.
You got options.
Or, again, just get your side joint. They say
side joint.
I'm just saying.
Side joint options. That's it.
I will. See, I'm stuck. I don't know. Well, I guess it does. If you have a side joint, then your relationship is not for you. I don't know. I don't know if that's true or not. That's not true. No, and that's not really true because
that's the kids, Daryl. If that relationship was enough, you wouldn't need the side joint.
That's not true.
Yes, it is
not true. That's like saying if the relationship's enough, you don't need to go to the gym. Yeah, you still got to go to the gym. That's the extracurricular activity that you're doing for self. Sometimes you got to take care of yourself. You go get massages. You know what I mean? I'm going to go massage somebody on the inside. I'm just saying, I don't know. There's different. I don't know.
Another example. That one made 0 sense to me.
No, it does. I know it does, but it does. Just because you do something outside doesn't mean you don't love what's going on inside your home.
Except when it comes to marriage and commitment.
No, well, nobody's perfect. I mean,
and I've asked this question before. So does that mean everyone gets a side joint?
That's the question, Doc.
You get a side joint.
So it's a tough question because in one sense I see, hey, put some clothes on that cat. It's X-rated show. X-rated show.
The naked wonder.
Because in one sense I do think I'm like, dang, if you're cheating on somebody, then
No, that's a serious
really
question.
Care about
it is
them,
a serious question.
Yeah, if you're cheating on them, can you really care about them? I'm like, no, you really can't because you potentially could hurt them. But then I know some people separate the two where it's just an action. Like I'm just doing an act, right? I'm just doing an act with this person. It doesn't mean I don't love my family or anything like that, but I'm just doing an act, right? Because and I'm not speaking for all guys. Some guys, you know, like I was watching the program the other day, like, dude, like you can put the thing in a car, in a gasoline thing in the car, and do, you know what I mean? It doesn't mean what it means to maybe some women sometimes. We can divorce feelings from the action, right? You can just do it.
Yeah.
And it's so
some women can do that too.
You can do that.
Men don't like to hear that.
Right,
Men don't like to hear that. But women can do that too. A lot of times women choose not
wait a minute.
to.
So this is the thing. Now we're going to speak to everybody can do something. We talk about the outlier, but are the majority of women having sex without feelings?
I
don't know. I'm asking a real question.
I don't know about the majority of women, but
it's possible.
Many women do.
Yeah, it's some girls for the streets. We know there's some out there for the streets. We understand that.
Why she gotta be for the streets? But the guy is not for the streets. Why she gotta be for the streets?
First, I didn't say that. I think anybody's for the streets, right? Man, woman, if you out there in them streets, you for the streets. I don't. It's not exclusive to just women. I don't think whatever you label it, whoever does it is both. But I'm thinking. But I know more men who can divorce themselves from the feeling of it and just make it an action, and then go home and love their wives and things of that nature.
But my question is, then why can't that action be with the person they committed to love? What's going on with that?
So if you eat the same meal for 10 years, you
then you put a little spice in it. Put a little different spice in it.
Hey, how about just put a whole nother one? I'm just saying, I don't know. I'm just saying first of all, it's not okay to cheat. I'm not saying it's okay.
Thank you for saying.
Yes,
I don't think it's okay to cheat. I don't think it is. I'm thinking about the rationale.
Doesn't think it's okay.
The side joint knows it's okay because she's a side joint. She means she's gonna accept what she gets.
I need an
Hey, Ruth, a side joint gets what she gets, and she don't get upset. Okay.
She has feelings,
That's what happens.
Daryl. She has feelings.
If that was the case, there wouldn't be so much drama in relationships with people.
See, but that's the problem.
If the side joints was okay, well, where they were.
While we slashing the tires, right?
And this where men, I think, where we get silly too. It happens all the time. It's very rare that anybody can do something without feelings. Like, you know, after you do it a couple times, somebody's catching feelings.
Right.
Usually she's gonna catch feelings. So you lie to yourself. Again, you're divorcing it. I'm just saying from what I know. I can't speak to the other way around. Maybe you guys have the men catching feelings. I don't know that. I'm just saying that you know she's gonna catch feelings for the most part. It's very rare that a woman can just do it and divorce herself. That I know that from my experiences of my friends, that usually she will catch feelings over time and break your windows out.
And the drama begins.
That's what it leads
to. And the drama
to.
begins.
Right.
But you know what?
I think,
I'm going to give you a perfect example. How many men with mistresses want their mistresses to only be faithful to them? You see that all the time. They court feelings and they don't want the side joint messing with nobody else.
But see, this is the problem with men. The problem with that is that if it's a side joint, you can't put any restrictions on her either.
But they try to.
No, but that's a relationship then. That's what I'm telling you. So any man who's doing that, you're having a relationship. Once that's put, a side joint should be, man or woman should be somebody to come over, y'all do what you do, and that's it. But once you start taking them out, once you start bringing food with them, once they start feeding you, that starts changing. No, you can't eat. That becomes, because now, like I said, if it's
never be a side joint, I have to eat.
No, because again, once you start doing other things, you're putting feeling into it. Like I said, if I said the man is divorcing himself from feeling to do this action, right? That's all you should be doing.
Okay.
If I'm bringing food, I bring food to my girl. So now it's starting to emulate a relationship.
Okay.
That's not a side joint. People get it confused to me. Wow. That's why we get in trouble. Because once you start treating the side joint like a man joint, she's gonna want more. It's like if she hit the jackpot, like, oh, he brought food. Now he's laying here a little longer watching a movie. You're changing a relationship. So that to me is now you're having two relationships.
But what
you call it a side joint, but that's really not.
But Daryl, can I ask, what if she just, if you have this thing going with the side joint and she just wants food? She's really hungry. Like, she's serious. What do you say? No, you cannot have food?
No, she can eat. You can do whatever you want before I get there or after I leave. Again, you treat the side joint like a girl, then expect the problems. But that's the problem. People are treating your side joint like a main joint. So again, once you start acting a certain way, like if I had a police uniform on, somebody came up to me like, "Hey, somebody robbed somebody over there," I could understand them doing that because I'm looking the part.
Okay.
So once you start acting the part, I think that I think they have all rights if you start treating her like a girl to start feeling like there's something more.
I never knew that.
That's your fault. That's your fault.
I never
knew
that.
I think that's the problem. Because you
very
can't catch feelings. It's very difficult to catch feelings if after he's done, he just leaves. Like, I wouldn't even say goodbye. I'm just gonna leave.
What?
I walk out the door, I check up the deuces like,
wow. I'm gonna keep.
If she let you come back, she's the one with the problem.
No, but again, it should be. Well, it should be a thing where we both just want this. If we're calling it a side joint, like, but if it's a side relationship where y'all having food and y'all meeting out, that's different.
Wow,
that's totally different. That's really, now you're really cheating because you're having a whole relationship.
Wow, like, I never knew that differentiation there.
I just think that this is the problem because once you, again, the side joint, and you should be her side joint, y'all should have whatever, and it should be just that.
Wow.
Once you start pillow talking about my girl and my husband, you're changing the dynamic of it to me, and I think that's the problem. That's why people catch feelings because you're letting feelings into it. It's not about the act anymore. That's how I see it.
That's an interesting perspective. That makes sense on some level, I guess. Just gonna be a hungry side joint.
Yeah. If you're belly fed, you ain't a side joint.
It ain't for me. I can't
you kissing her on the cheek when you leave, that's not a side joint. Like you're playing games. See you later. Wait, what? What are we doing here? So, hey, don't let nobody over here. Wait, now
rules. I tell you.
You can't put no rules on the side joint. Either way, it doesn't make sense to me.
Interesting.
Not to me anyway.
Ooh, I learn something every week here.
I'm telling you, I think that's a book. Side joint rules.
I think it should be the next book.
And they change side joint rules change from hood to hood, so it may be a little different. It may be a little different some other places. Some places you're allowed to bring Chinese food.
Wait till I tell my husband this.
Everybody, and the rules are different. You gotta go and learn the rules.
I'm gonna say, honey, we can't role play side joint no more because you weren't supposed to feed me. you broke Daryl's rules. Wait till
he fed you. Hey, you ain't a side joint no more. You're a main joint. You got two main joints. One you treat a little better.
Oh, Doc, help us out.
Oh man. Well, one of the things that I saw that makes you incompatible is that you don't understand each other.
Right.
Like basically you don't speak the same language. Not literally, but like definitions of marriage, financial security, what it means to be faithful, what it means to be a side joint.
Right. I would say it's really easy. It could be as simple as I'm not coming over before 10 o'clock. Understand, if you want me to come over before that and I'm not doing it, you shouldn't just accept it if that's not what you want. Right? And that's what happens. People will, like you said, you're trying to catch somebody, now you're catching yourself up. Because you're accepting this language. You're accepting this way of you're beginning your culture by whatever you do in the beginning. So if I'm like, I can never come over until 1 o'clock every night, and you allow it to happen, then that's what it's going to be.
Okay.
You know, that's what
you already defined it. You've defined it.
Right. If I don't want to go. I don't want to go anywhere with you. You know, we're always sitting in your house. Even if we're always sitting in your house watching movies, it may seem cool because you're getting the company, but you got to realize we're not going anywhere. Why? Right? Why are we not going anywhere? Why are you not taking me out?
Makes sense.
You know, so those type of things where understand each other's needs as well. Like, well, again, what are your needs? And if your needs aren't getting met, then why are you not speaking up about it at first.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And if you speak up about it and they're still like, wah, 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 you can't stay.
Yes.
If you stay and now you end up 5 years later and you're mad, but you knew what it was. You got to get out early before there's a lot of skin in the game.
Yeah.
If you can. If most of these things are presenting themselves in that first year, at least you'll see things, right? And then you build. So if there's some things you really don't like, you need to just talk about it. And then if it doesn't change,
get out.
And the reality is, if you actually date, you'll see some of these things early on. Like if chivalry is your thing, you know, he didn't open the door for you. He didn't pull out your chair. He cursed out the waiter.
Yep.
You know, you see those things pretty early on. And if those are the things that are important to you, then like Daryl said, you don't have any skin in the game. It's like, all right, we don't need to go on any more dates.
Right.
That's true. They will reveal themselves usually early. Now, whether or not we choose to ignore them, that's your choice, but they will reveal.
Like, dang, her hands don't work because every time we go for a door, she look at me. This ain't gonna work. Dang.
No, it's not gonna work.
When the bill came, her hands and reached to her pocket.
Yep.
Dang. This ain't gonna make date number 2.
Nope, you're sure not.
Her hands are broke.
Sure not.
Right?
Her hands are broke. I don't know what she thinks she is.
Put them in your pocket.
Yeah. Jeez.
That's right.
I gotta pay for her time. Yeah, this ain't gonna work.
Yep.
And some people keep on going for whatever reason, like, oh, but she look good or he look good,
right.
You know, whatever. You know, they'll pick something in order to keep it going,
to hang on. And whatever that thing is going to change anyway. So you better get it straight.
Yes.
Or it wasn't a core thing that you needed to be with someone, right? So if you're hanging on to, like you said, hoping someone's going to change, there's a problem, or hoping that, you know, you get them and they're going to change after you get them, but that's a problem because they haven't shown you that in the beginning. So people are going to really show you who they are. So again, if you're not getting it in the beginning, don't expect to get it in the end. Can it happen?
Right.
Yes, anything can happen. But if you're not getting it in the beginning, most likely that person isn't going to give it to you in the end.
Now, what happens if, say, early on, right, that young man that doesn't open the door for you, maybe he wasn't raised that way and he's not aware of it, and you do say something, and you do say, you know, I would expect you to do X, Y, and Z, open the door, you know, pay the bill, whatever. I think that should be a way to sort of give it more time, if you will. Because it may not be his theory.
I'm gonna say, what's wrong with your hands?
No,
you got
not,
a job.
girl.
You have a job too. Again,
no, you're not going to say that.
I am, and I have. It's not 1950. It's not 1950. You can't say you want to be traditional in this non-traditional world.
Talking about, because I still 30-some 40 years in stand there and wait for you to remember that's what you do.
I get you. I don't know where that train of thought is what we do, because I love expectations, right? I love it. I'm like, oh, you expect something? Well, I paid for this meal. I expect some guac 3000, okay? Okay? If we're going in on expectations, right?
But if that's my expectation in that relationship, Daryl.
Right, and for me, I would expect you not to have expectations, because we shouldn't expect we shouldn't have expectations for anyone to do anything, because we have expectations again. Okay, you know you're ordering on the fucking side of the menu. I'm just saying, that side right there, I expect to get dessert. You understand me? I'm just saying, if we're going to expectations.
I give up. I'm done.
But you know what? That's a good thing, because if I say to you, I expect you to open the door for me, and pull out my chair, and you say you want to put this out of the menu, then I know that's our last date.
Oh, no doubt. It's cool. But we worked it out.
I appreciate your honesty.
Understood.
Right.
Understood.
You understand me? Because now we know where we're at. So if we tell people who we are up front, if they stay, again, we know what it is. Like I said, because
I was just exampling a benefit of the doubt that young man wasn't exposed to that. That's all.
No.
I agree with both sides. Okay. I think that if you have that conversation and he's willing to try, and you might have to remind him sometimes, like, yeah, you forgot to open up the door for me. That's fine. But if you coming off right at the jump saying, I don't do that, and you're gonna have to do this, like, all right, okay, we're not right. Compatible.
You're gonna keep reminding him when he open the door, and I'm gonna keep reminding you we're going back to my house after meal. Matter of fact, we ain't gotta go to the house. We can make it in the car. Like, I'm gonna keep reminding you too. Then, if we're gonna remind people of things.
Oh my goodness, that was a good.
Like I said, you got to have expectations both ways. It's very interesting that people have expectations of someone else, but what are they expected to do? They're not thinking about what they're expected to do, because they're thinking they're going to sit there and look pretty, have everything paid for, get picked up, and I'm paying for your conversation. I'm confused. That whole thing doesn't even make sense. That makes zero sense if you really think about it. Hey, you're going to do everything. I'm going to do nothing. Huh? Where they do that at? I'm confused. Where they do that at?
But you're going to enjoy conversation with them, getting to know them.
She's going to enjoy conversation. She's enjoying conversation too. She's getting to know me too. Again, I'm a prize.
Mutually, yes. Mutually, I agree.
Yes, I'm a prize. So what am I paying for? What I'm paying for your time? I don't think so. I don't think so.
Oh man.
Now, are you a Leo?
Absolutely not. I'm a realist. I'm letting you know I'm not paying for your time. So if you think
I'm the prize,
if you think I'm doing all this to see if you want to date again, you mistaken. I'm auditioning, doing everything, and you like, you did a good job opening the doors, paying for everything, and complimenting me and talking to me. Wait, what did you do? Nothing.
I'm so sorry. The open the door thing came up. I am so sorry.
Hey, y'all can do it if y'all want. Now, if it's not expected, then I don't mind, right? Like I said, if I just do it, it's cool. But if I see you standing and waiting for me to do it, I'm going to open it up, walk through it myself, and let it shut. And if you want to stand out there and wait for me to stand, I'm going to go eat. I'm going to go eat and everything. And I'm going to come back. I'm going to open the door again and walk and get my car. Like, I'm not doing that. I don't audition.
Darryl,
I don't pay for auditions.
Darryl. We love you, Darryl. We do.
I'm just saying, because if you think about it, it makes
you just said.
I don't know what sense it makes. I don't know what sense it makes. You do everything, and I'm gonna sit here. That don't make sense. If you really think about it, it don't make sense.
What about chemistry?
Kiss on the cheek at night.
Let's talk about chemistry, because he's not letting this go. He is not letting it go, Doc.
I did all that for a kiss on the cheek. You out your rabbit ass box.
We struck a nerve, Doc.
I see.
I done ran out of coffee. I can't drink this coffee.
I think that coffee has him hyped up.
I think that coffee was not decaffeinated.
It was not, Doc. I don't think so. Oh, that was so funny.
Hey, I'm just saying, fellas, just listen. Okay.
Now, I'm sure you guys know of people who are in relationships with people that they say they're not attracted to.
Yes.
So, but I mean, I think they may be attracted to other things, though, right? It may not be that physical attraction. Maybe they're attracted to their personality or some.
But is that enough to keep it together? That's what I'm asking. Is it enough?
I would say. Maybe not for me, because I'm shallow Hal, right? I know who I am, okay? I gotta be physically attracted to you. But I think some people can't. Well, no, I dated one girl who was not anything that not that she wasn't an option. Well, I guess she was. I don't know. Not that she was an option, but we started working together. And we were in the same room for a year. And by talking to her, I'm like, yo, she's a dope person, right?
By proximity.
And there you go.
Right. And which allowed the chemistry, proximity allowed the chemistry to happen. And we dated for a while. I really liked her.
But interesting. Okay.
So she wasn't your typical.
No, not at all. No, not at all. And I remember I didn't really find her physically attractive.
Mm-hmm.
She had a cool body, but face-wise, she wasn't physically attractive.
Mm-hmm.
And me being that, see, I'm a nice person, and I like to tell people things. And I was telling her how I'm a very nice person.
That's his twin
And
brother, Doc.
I was telling her how how it was so great to be with someone that I wasn't really physically attracted to, but I liked them for who they were.
You did not say that.
I said I like you for who you were.
Okay, you
that's the
said
best thing.
it eloquently. It sounds like you said it in a different way.
No, I kind of said, cause I didn't know it was a bad thing at the time. I thought it was good. I felt proud of myself. I felt good that I was telling her that it's not about looks with you, it's about who you are. Cause they always say like the person for who they are. You say like the person for who they are, right? I'm like, yo, I never met a person like you before, cause it's not the physically attractiveness, but I like you for who you are. And she started crying, and I thought she was so struck by what I said, but she was hurt because I didn't find her attractive. I said,
yes,
I can't win.
Yes, is that
I can't win?
Yeah, that was hurtful.
I can't win.
Yes.
Wow.
You turned down someone tonight.
There you go.
Really?
There you go. No, they knew it already. They did it, and they're just saying that I get it.
I've been told I can. What is that, Nikki? I've been told I can put hair. Oh.
What was it? I can put hair on a rock?
I can put hair on a rock like I grow on you.
Oh, okay. They grow on that person.
Okay.
So, like I said, and that's in that situation, that's what happened. We grew together, and it was not a physical thing. Like, she was not physically what I wanted, and it became a problem in a relationship too, because like when we go out,
well, yeah,
I was going to ask you about that. Yeah,
I noticed her more that she wasn't physically attracted. So I was walking like the other side of the mall. I was like, you stay over there, I'm gonna stay over here, like, because I wasn't like couldn't be seen with her out. I don't know why. I was just weird.
Wow. But I guess I was going to ask, like, so does one type of chemistry you think last longer than another, or?
Well, for me, because I'm shallow, how the physical. Remember when we're home, it's like just me and you don't really see your partner for who they are sometimes because you're used to them. You see them every day. Okay. That's why when your partner gets dressed up sometimes, oh girl, you're looking good today. True. Because you wasn't looking good yesterday because you look regular. You look like you normally look like. That. You know what I mean? You had sleep out of your eye. Like I know you. Now it's about who we are.
Yes.
So when you get dressed up, either way, you notice each other.
Okay.
So when we would go out, I would really be conscious of her looks, which didn't matter when we were kind of doing our thing at home, even at work, since we worked together. But when other people, it kind of,
affected
was a problem.
It affected.
Right. Now, I think if I could have got over the other people's issue,
yes,
and the probably the 5 side joints I had, we might have worked. We might have worked. I think
he may have been the one that got away, Daryl. He may have been the one. Yes.
No. Now I look back on it like, you know what? She was like really one that I could have probably, if I was in the right
long term, is what I'm saying.
Like, I was younger, so everything was like you wanted something pretty on your arm. It was really silly, but she was actually checked all the boxes on everything else outside of the looks. And it wasn't even her, it was other people, my thought of other people looking at us and what they thought. Because it wasn't like nobody was like, ew, look at that. No, it wasn't that. I mean, she just wasn't attractive to me.
Okay.
So did she tell you that she felt like you were judging her?
Oh, well, I don't know. She started crying and she said
that
crazy
means
that I find her attractive.
Yeah.
And she said, I don't know, you don't find me attractive. I'm like, but I like who you are. I didn't understand. I promise you at that time, I really felt like I was doing something good. I felt like I was telling her I cared about her as a person more than anything else. Like looks didn't matter. And it's what you hear all the time. It's not about physical looks, it's about who the person is. And I'm like, I found someone, it wasn't about physical looks, it was about who the person was. And it didn't really
that's so crazy. It reminds me of an episode of Seinfeld where George was dating this woman and asked Elaine to ask the woman if she really liked George. And she said, yeah, I really like him. And matter of fact, looks don't really mean that much to me. And he was so upset about that.
Right.
Yeah, because he thought, she's a pretty girl. And, he was offended. You're right. He was offended.
Yes.
I could see that. I could see that.
And again, it was not intentional at all.
Mm-hmm.
Like I learned that day, never say that to a woman. Again, this goes back to other episodes where women make us lie to them. I gotta lie. I can't really tell you sometimes how I truly feel because it could hurt your feelings. Oh, boo boo. Oh, Tito, you so sensitive.
But it's interesting to me because it oftentimes, I think, won't look the way someone thinks it looks, meaning how that person looks may not be that best fit for you necessarily. I've had these conversations with our youngest son. You know, you have a type, like you said, Daryl, and maybe that type is not what you should be looking for. Maybe you should
type as far as what? Physical?
Meaning physical looks, you know, a certain.
Well, I don't necessarily agree to that because physical looks is what's inside that's really going to drive you, right? Because once you meet the person, they can be whatever they want. You can have a girl who's extremely beautiful, but then you may not like her personality, who she is. Or you can have a girl who's extremely beautiful and you can love her personality. So it's really, I think for me, the foot in the door is the physical, how you look.
Even that's what I'm saying to him. Maybe that's not the way to start it out.
So I think then you run the risk of saying, let me be with somebody who I don't really find physically attractive. That's going to be a problem too, right? What you like is what you like. You just have to find what we're looking for. What we're talking about now is the chemistry with someone that looks the way you like.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And that's really chemistry. That's usually, you know, how that person is. Now, if you're fishing from the same pool, that may be the problem where people are all around the same area and they're doing the same thing, looking the same way, same gym, maybe something like that. Then that could be a problem because sometimes the culture of the place you are will allow people kind of be kind of the same. That may be, but I don't think looks necessarily can be bad, right? Because you like something, it's really what's driving.
Like you said, maybe they don't have to check all the look boxes, but you could at least give them a chance to get to know them on a different level with that chemistry, that attraction, like you said, that inward attraction.
I'm gonna say, don't give any more advice to your son. Let him. Just let him do his thing. Go after the look you want, please.
This thing has landed him nothing, nowhere.
Oh my gosh.
I'm curious about this.
Like, you know what? Go. That person with 3 eyes might be the person for
Got to
you.
that level.
I think what she's saying is that not to eliminate anyone because of looks.
Thank you.
No, again, fellas. Don't listen to that. If they're not what you want, right? Because you are picking.
We don't know what we want sometimes.
No. Well, I know what it starts with. A beautiful face. Okay, so I can tell you what it starts with.
That's right.
Mama's
Nikki.
always right.
That's right.
Not.
Right.
There may be right.
Nikki.
You may be right to teach your daughters, but not to teach your sons. If we like something beautiful, go after what you like. Don't say, well, go get the girl you don't like because it might. No, thank you.
No, but give the other, like Doc is saying, give them all a chance.
Why? Because then you're like me, and like I don't want to walk next to you because I don't like you in the public. You're creating problems, okay? Creating problems. Don't lie to yourself.
Carol, let me give you an example. Even though you think we got married when we were 3, all of us. When I met my husband, my girlfriend set it up at McDonald's, long story short. And she's like, perfect guy for you, Ruth. I know you. I know this guy you would mesh with. I was like, if you'll leave me alone, I'll go and see who you're talking about. Went to McDonald's. And my husband was not aesthetically who I may have been looking toward, even that young. I'm just telling you, once we got a chance to go out and have conversations and see what the inner parts of who he was like you were just describing, that chemistry just went boom. And initially, he would not have been somebody I would have said. And that's what I said to her. This is who you want me to see? This guy waving the spatula? Can't be. Can't be. But what I'm saying is, Daryl, I didn't know.
Listen up, Drake. Listen up, Drake.
Thank you, Drake.
No, don't listen up. And I have a question. I mean, what does she mean type? So type meaning what? I don't think she meant a type as in, was it a look
for me,
or was it a personality?
I'm not sure if that's what Nikki's saying.
Yeah, I don't know. And with your husband, definitely with his nice little curly hair and all that.
He wasn't all that then. He was 15. Trust me.
He was.
wasn't all that, Daryl.
Listen, I can tell he was.
He had the McDonald's hat on. I couldn't see all of that, Daryl.
Right. So, but once you saw it, you was like, oh. So I think he was already attractive to you. Maybe the McDonald hat threw you off a little bit, but it wasn't like you were like, he got 3 eyes. No, he's still he was still he was still attractive.
Well, I didn't see him in that vein. I'm being serious about that.
No, right. You may not have looked for him like that, right? But once you start looking at him, you're like, oh,
once
winner.
I started listening to him, Daryl, listening to him.
Hey, you can retell the story if you want. I want to talk to him. He'd be like, yeah, she saw me with melting. I knew it.
He never listens. All right. Whatever.
I tend to agree with Neil that there are probably some things that you might be checking on your box that may be hindering you.
Look at his face. Fix your face now. Fix your face.
I'm asking it, how can a look hinder you? Right?
Because if that's what you've already said that the look is the first thing.
Right. So how can it hinder you?
Because you're not going to go any further with conversation or anything.
Well, what I'm saying is that, but if I like a certain thing, I'm going to go after what I like. And the personality is what's going to keep you or when you can be ugly with a bad personality. I'm not going to, so I'm going to look for what I like and whatever you find to be attractive. Cause that's, attractive. So if I find something to be attractive, then I'm going to go after that. I'm not going to go after what I don't find attractive, thinking like, well, she's not that attractive, but she may be nice. No, I'm not doing that. Hey, y'all, look at Ursula. She might be nice.
No, not to that extreme, Daryl. Not to that extreme, we're saying.
Well, what are we saying then? Because a look is not going to stop you. If he's looking for a certain type of person, that's fine. But it's really the inside that's going to drive you. It wasn't the looks that turned him off, right? It was how that person acted. Like I said, I've met people that were beautiful, but maybe how they acted was what was like, oh, now you're ugly to me because you weren't, your attitude was stank.
Okay.
Whatever it was, now that turned me off. Okay. Now you're not an attractive person anymore, right? So I think that for me, you know what I mean? It's about, we want to go, because again, you want something that you can look at, right? When you go out, you want somebody that you can look at. I don't want to go and not look at Gertrude all day. Like, she's really a good person, but I can't look at her in the face with that third eye. Like,
Ursula.
Like, come on, Gretchen. Come on, Gretchen, let's go. I don't want to be mad because Gretchen's in the car with me.
Oh, no.
You want her to bring Gretchen home and your parents to meet your parents. You're like, look at Gretchen. Like, nice to meet you, mother-in-law. Like, hey, let me talk to you. What are you doing? Let's see how welcome you'll be. Let's see how welcome you'll be if there's something crazy in the living room. Like, ooh, that is definitely not what you're used to, is it?
Oh my goodness, help me. He gives my side.
Attraction is a physical attraction, I think, is what gets you in the door with whoever you're with for the most part. And it depends on people. I think some people out there can date people due to all personality. I don't know how they pick people. Like, why did you start talking to that person? Like, I don't know how you pick them, right? But usually you pick somebody who you're attracted to.
But I'm saying,
no Rasputia?
No. Why? You know what I mean? Why?
I don't have the answers to that.
Because it's not an answer. Why would you do that? Unless that's what you're attracted to.
A mutual friend.
We're not friends anymore. Because obviously you don't know me.
Oh my
You don't know me. Listen, how many times, I don't know if you ever hooked up on a blind date outside of, your husband, or on a blind date where someone you just saw from the rip, and that just seeing them could just be like,
But meaning that they knew you as a person, so they did know you. She did know me as a person.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think she knew what you liked. She knew exactly what you liked. You don't want to admit it, but she knew exactly what you liked.
Maybe she knew. Maybe she did,
Right.
and I didn't. But I did not know.
Yes, you were in denial. You like,
Maybe that's
he on fries. He on fries. I don't know nobody working McDonald's. See, that was the McDonald's hate. That's what that was. I don't know nobody making McDonald's. He gonna smell like burgers and then you like when he outside today, he's like, ooh, look at him. He look like a Big Mac.
No, that's not true. I was like, not.
I agree though. If a guy has a person has a really good sense of humor, that can change things.
Yeah, but for how long?
Yeah.
How long can it change things? Right? It's only so many jokes you can tell, and you ain't got no teeth in your mouth. Like,
that point's interesting because my husband I didn't think had a sense of humor either.
Gotcha. See, like I said, I think whatever it is that you may have liked about this person that you're really not attracted to is going to wear off at a certain point. Like you can't be, even jokes. You can't do it all. You might have joked, but then after a while, it's like, ooh, you start noticing things about that person. Again, even as you get close to the person, you start noticing things about them more and more and more.
That's true.
I think even too, sometimes after you have sex with somebody, they look different. I don't know if that's true, but after you get it, it's like, I don't really like her. She's not that cute. She's not as cute as I thought she was.
Somebody just gave me some regular old crackers.
Yeah, I thought these were rich. These are regular old crackers. After you, it's like your eyes open up. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It works. Yes. It opens up. You're like, whoa, it's not what I thought it was.
That's right? Physical. That's why we need longevity here. We get old.
Yeah, but before you get old, I need you to look nice. Okay? we're gonna get old together. I get growing old and be like, all right, look, now we're 107. We look a little different. I get that.
Bodies change everything. She's so right. What are you gonna do then? What are you gonna do, Mr. Attracted to the physical?
Okay. So I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna do. So if you were ugly when I got you young, you're gonna be terrible when you get older. Like I don't want to even think about what it is. So again, some people are really not about looks. I get it, but I think most people want to have some type of physical attraction to the person they're with. For me, I want to be physically attracted to you. I want to be able to say, even the time when you dress up, like, girl, you look good, looking good, girl.
That's true.
I want to be able to say that. I don't want to be lying every time I say it. Like, well, you got your outfit nice. That is a beautiful outfit.
We are not getting to that wedding anytime soon.
I'm just saying, it's very difficult.
Yeah,
it's very difficult to compliment someone you don't find physically attractive.
But if you're growing in love with them, it might make it a tad easier, Daryl.
I told the girl, I liked your personality. I wasn't physically attracted to you. We didn't grow. She never got any better looking. Great person. Loved the person. Everything about her, loved it.
Oh man.
She's the one that got away, Daryl. I can tell.
If we lived in a society where we could stay in the house all the time, she got away. But since we got to go outside and we got like barbecues and stuff like that where I got to take her to meet the family, I know my family like, rough time, huh? Rough night. I know what they're going to say. So I know I'm not going to bring anything around that's not, top tier.
You have to ignore what people say. It's about your heart and the connection.
Yeah, maybe not. Maybe not. Like I said, if we got to go outside, it's a problem. Listen, you don't have to settle. See what you guys are saying, let's settle.
No, that's not settling. That's not.
No, it is. It is selling for Gertrude. I'm not selling for Gertrude. I'm not. You have the right to be happy, right? And you are, it's your choice. You're picking your happiness. If something is not really doing it for you, the whole thing we said all day, don't stay in something that's not doing it for you. For whatever reason, if it's not doing, find something that you can be happy with. And again, at least 80%, right? So they got to look like something for you to be happy.
That's what I'm saying. They don't have to be like a supermodel or something. But, yes.
Well, most of us are not getting supermodels, right? Most of us is average, and we're going to get an average person. That's cool.
Okay.
But you still want someone that you feel is your supermodel. Yeah, I mean, you feel is your supermodel. You want somebody like, yo, that's my supermodel.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
And that's what I'm saying. Attraction to you is whatever's attractive to you. You want something that is attractive, and then also has the other things, you know, as far as you know, personality and you know all this, whatever you want in a person. You want to have those things too.
Okay.
I don't suggest settling like, well, she don't look like I normally would look, but I'm gonna try it. Just that alone is already, to me, setting you up for failure. Just think what you just said. I ain't really attracted to her, but let me try it anyway. We're doing it already. We're going past what we just said the whole show. We're going into something not really all the way in.
But you could grow in. Okay, I'll stop at that point. You could grow.
Yeah, and guess what? You might not grow. Most of the time, we don't grow into things we don't like to begin with. Most of the time, if things aren't what we get, like we talked about, they're not. Even if it's going skating all the time, if we don't like that, we don't usually grow into it. And then it becomes something that we can resent the relationship about. I don't want to go anymore. Well, why don't you want to go? I don't like go. That could be as simple as that. Now, if I got to look at you every time I wake up and realize I don't like you, God, they woke up again.
Well, let me ask you this before we end tonight. If she hadn't been so upset and not wanted to be in a relationship, would you have stayed with her? Because you liked her. You just didn't like how she looked. If she was willing to stay in the relationship, would you have stayed with her?
What you mean? She was willing to stay in a relationship. I'm the prize in this situation. I didn't stay in a relationship.
Oh, okay. I thought she became so upset that she wanted.
Oh, no. Do you see what's in front of you? She didn't leave good. She was upset. But she wasn't upset enough to leave. That wasn't what it was. She was upset. No, I'm gonna go lay down. I'm gonna go lay down and go sleep. And she slept it out of her, but because again, the same thing. I think for her, maybe it was the thing like maybe he would grow into it. I don't know her mindset, but she stayed. That wasn't something, and technically maybe she should have left, right? If I'm telling her that I wasn't, but again, I don't know in that situation.
But you didn't break up with her either, right then, right?
No, she has some good yams. I'm gonna leave them yams.
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
Oh, we're back at yams.
I told you I liked her. She was nice. She was really nice. I really liked who she was. You know, again, I really liked who she was. But at that point, I really was shallow Hal. Really was, and it really affected me. And I look back, I'm like, and like you kind of said, I was affected by outside.
Yes.
But what I thought people were thinking, and no one said anything to me.
Okay.
No one said anything. It was just me in my mind thinking that since I didn't really find her physically attractive, I'm like, oh, people see this. People probably like, why are you with that girl? You know, and that was me. You know what I'm saying?
That was all you.
What do you mean? Most women are good enough to sleep with. What are you talking about?
I think that's Champ.
Most women are good enough to sleep with. How many men are telling women, no, we're gonna go sleep with you? No, the most time they're gonna sleep with you. Don't mean they like you. Just because a man sleep with you don't mean he likes you.
Wow.
Please. Wow. I mean, if you guys thought that, sorry, not true. I'm just saying.
Wow.
So that was terrible. Yes, most women are good enough to sleep with.
Wow.
Wow, we don't know that. Come on now.
We don't want to know that.
Right. Nobody wants to know.
That's the problem. See, this is the problem. You guys don't want to understand. That's why you guys get hoodwinked a lot, because you don't realize that, yes, we'll take it. You give it, we'll take it.
Wow.
Again, you see a stray dog, you feed it, he gonna eat it. Yeah, I'm gonna eat it. Don't mean I like you.
Okay. Any last words or
his own sound effects? I tell you,
audience about how to know when you're not compatible?
Let me think about this again.
Daryl, you go first.
We got to get it together first.
Oh man, I can't. You guys are crazy. I can't take this show. You guys are something else. I don't know how we get to these points in these shows, boy. I tell you. I think that, and it's funny. It's the same concept of a lot of these shows are in dating in the beginning. I think you should be as authentic as possible and let the person know who you are and what you expect from the gate. I think that's the best way to do things, to see if you really want to go forth. Because if you're living in that honeymoon stage for 3 or 4 months, 5 months, whatever it is, you're really wasting time if that person isn't or doesn't have the qualities that you possess or want. So it's really in the beginning, try to really talk to whomever it is and just tell them who you are and be who you are. Don't kind of hide who you are or omit things like someone said. Don't do that, because then that's a problem. Like I said, if you're one that, doesn't want, I don't want kids, and as a woman, you don't want kids, but he may want kids, you might want to let someone know that early, right? So that they'll know. So you're not down the road, now you guys love each other, now you got a big discussion because I want them, you don't want them. But if you said that day 1, day 2, I might have not proceeded with it, right?
And I was thinking the same way. I mean, if you have to give up too much of who you are to make that compatibility, then something's there. If you find yourself always making excuses for what's not working compatibly, then I think that's another red flag that's waving that we tend to just duck as it hits us.
Yes.
Yeah, and if the big ticket items, sort of like Daryl was saying, if the major deal breakers are already happening, like you can tell that's where it's going, and you're just living in denial just to say, I have this relationship. It's not necessarily a compatible one. You're just making you're settling.
Yeah. I agree. And if you're already in it and you're only hanging around for years, because you're waiting for whatever prize it is, the ring, the marriage, or whatever, you still may need to leave and forget the ring or the marriage, because it's not going to get any better. If you're not compatible now at year 5, then waiting another 5 years to get married is not going to change much. Absolutely.
And like I said, have a conversation about it, right? Don't just sit there and expect someone to read your mind. If you're really like, listen, we've been together 5 years. I need to know what's the plan, what does it look like going forward, and then you can offer that, see what you want to do. If they're still talking like, well, we need to wait because well, you have to be able to leave if that's not what you want. You don't want to wait another 5 years. But I think you will also have to give the person the chance by explaining to what you want to see if they can change or see where they're at too. Because you want to talk about these things, have that conversation. Everything should be a conversation. The more you talk, the better relationships can be. You can talk about big things, little things. That'll make the relationship move better so you can get through things.
And one thing we didn't mention, we talk about having these conversations, but if everything is a fight, that's a problem.
That's a
everything. Good yes. We should be, you should be able to have these discussions with your partner, and it shouldn't always be a conflict about something that you want.
Right.
Because now you're forcing it. If everything you need or want causes a problem.
Right.
It's a kind of an indication that you're trying to force the relationship.
Right. And also I would say too, with that, where, if you are having these problems and they're turning into arguments and things of that nature, if you're not getting over them as well, right? If the arguments are lingering 3-4 days, a month, 2 weeks, that's an issue. You should be able to, again, a healthy relationship is going to have arguments, right? But they shouldn't last for days. You should be able to get upset about something and then move on, right? Still, because I still love you, I may be upset with you, but I'm going to sit and watch TV with you. Right. I'm still going to do the things I need to do to be with you. I might be upset in this moment, but it shouldn't linger where you're turning your back to the person, you're leaving and all that type of stuff, right? It should be a thing where the argument should be healthy, right? Right? Healthy.
And fair.
Yes. I think we should talk about that at some point.
Fighting healthy and fair.
How to fight fair and healthy.
Right.
Yeah. But it's funny, you just had me think of a meme where it's a guy saying, I want a relationship where you'll still feed me. And she come in, the woman handing him the plate. Here's your food, you bitch ass.
Right. But that's real, because you want to still do the things that you need to do to make that relationship work. But you can be upset. It's okay to be upset. Right? It's okay to be upset. But it's not. But it's not okay to start neglecting that person.
No. No.
Like
That's
like
right.
I'm not going to cook because you did this.
Yes.
I'm not
that's
going to
true.
sleep with you. I'm gonna sleep on the
Right.
couch because of this.
Right.
That becomes a problem.
It's not
right?
healthy. It's
It's
not.
not healthy at all.
Mhm.
Right? It's not
That's
healthy.
a good
You
topic.
guys.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So yes, okay, all right. Thank you guys for riding with us. And if you have a topic, please let one of us know. We can talk about it. If you want to be on the panel, join us. Let us know. We'll bring you on. And if you want to watch the replay of this, you can do it on the Facebook group Relationship Flow, YouTube channel Relationship Flow Sip and Chat under Butterfly Love Consultations. And we'll see you guys next week.
Bye. Have a great week.